जय श्री राधा माधव की जय, बलदेव सुंदरा मैया की जय, गौर निताई की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू समिट डिवोटी, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू समिट डिवोटी, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू समिट डिवोटी, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Hare Krishna. Rajesh, who you have come today? Not working. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagadjatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Advaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwamanusute Devi Pranamami Vancha Kalpatarubheshcha Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Om Vishnupadaya Krishnapreshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Veshvarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna. So we welcome everybody once again to Sunday morning program और ISKCON सल्लमपुर रोड सेंटर. आप सबका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. कोई ऐसे हैं जो पहली बार आए हैं आज सुबह? हरे कृष्णा. आप किसी भी प्रोग्राम में पहली बार आए हैं कि पहले आ चुके हैं? Like have you come to other program? So this is the first ever program. First ever program. Okay. English और हिंदी और mixed? Mixed. Okay. Okay, so जैसा I mean as we have been doing, हम क्या कर रहे हैं वैसे हर रविवार सुबह किस बात पर चर्चा कर रहे हैं? What are we discussing every Sunday morning? इस सीरीज का नाम है भाव तरंग. भव तरंग नहीं, I have discussed once. भव तो भवसागर हो गया, साइकिल ऑफ बर्थ एंड डेथ, ओशन ऑफ बर्थ एंड डेथ. उसके तरंग में फंसने की बात हम लोग नहीं कर रहे. हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं भाव तरंग की. That means to understand the ecstasies of pure devotional service, and to understand the science of pure devotional service as explained in Nectar of Devotion by Srila Rupa Goswami. भक्ति रसामृत सिंधु में जैसा बताया है भक्ति का विज्ञान, उसके बारे में हम चर्चा करते हैं. और ये क्यों जरूरी है? क्योंकि एक श्लोक आता है श्रुति स्मृति पुराणादि पंचरात्रिकं विधिं विना एकांतिकी हरे भक्ति उत्पादेव कल्पते. What this means is श्रुति स्मृति पुराण आदि. मतलब जो श्रुति क्या, what are the Shrutis? The Vedas. The Vedas are the Shrutis. Smriti, what are Smritis? Okay, let me just quickly talk about this. Right? श्रुति क्या होता है? वेद जो होते हैं उनको श्रुति बोलते हैं. Why? Because we just hear them and it comes in the disciplic succession as it is. श्रुति में एक भी मंत्र, एक भी syllable, एक भी श्लोक कुछ भी change नहीं हो सकता. That is as it is. वेद वाक्य. Let's say if somebody has to prove something, and if they say that okay, this is Ved Vakya, means done. That's it. Matter over. Now nobody can argue anything about it. अगर वेद ने ये बोला है तो ये है. That's it. So that is Shruti. Not even one dot can be changed in Shruti. What are Smritis? Smriti means They are like stories to tell us the same lessons which are there in Vedas. Now, people of Kali Yuga are not that intelligent or spiritually qualified to be able to understand the Vedas directly. So, therefore, Smritis are even more relevant in today's age. Smritis are like stories, just like Mahabharata. Mahabharata is a story, but yet it has so many great lessons. Right? The essence of the Vedic teachings, as passed on through Smriti, through stories, is called as Smritis. And Puranas and etc. These all come in Smritis. Itihasas, and all this Ramayana, Mahabharata, yes, Smriti. So it's Smriti because it's a story. Actually, in one version you may find it written in different Sanskrit, in another version it may be different Sanskrit because the essence is story and the lessons. And the lessons are very deep. So that's Smriti. So Shruti, Smriti, Puran Adi, and Puran, etc. Pancharatrikam Vidhim Vina. And without understanding the Pancharatrika Vidhi, Shruti, Smriti, Puran Adi, Pancharatrikam Vidha Vina, Ekantiki Harir Bhaktir Utpat Eva Kalpate. That bhakti, that devotional service, which is done without understanding of the Shastras, in a right way, in a correct way, is only creating disturbance in the society. Utpat Eva Kalpate. So Rupa Goswami is telling this, that people generally misunderstand what is devotion. Prabhupada said devotion is the most misunderstood emotion in India. जो भक्ति है बहुत मिसअंडरस्टूड है. लोग सोचते हैं हमारे अंदर भक्ति है और हमारे अंदर बहुत भक्ति भावना है, बट एक्चुअली रियल भक्ति इज much different, and it is very scientific, and we have to understand it very clearly. Of course, there is a lot of importance of bhav, as we were discussing in the last class. Attitude और भाव का क्या रोल है, पर वो attitude भी, what is the right attitude, what is the wrong attitude. Like Raj Krishna Prabhu in the last class, he was telling that when we are dancing in the morning in the Mangal Aarti, we are dancing for whose pleasure, for our pleasure or for Krishna's pleasure? Krishna's pleasure. केवल ये जो छोटा सा difference है. सोचो, if somebody has not heard these classes, and then Prabhuji was also talking about आज के आनंद की जय, right? So when we understand things in parampara, we understand that these things are not very good things. We are not here for our own anand. We are here for Krishna's anand. So such small things, there is a thin line sometimes between what is real bhakti versus what is pseudo bhakti or false bhakti. और वो हमको कैसे पता चलेगा? By understanding the shastras nicely, through pure devotees, through parampara. And that is what is presented in Nectar of Devotion. So what we will do first, we will do a quick revision of what we did in the last class. So if you remember in the last class, what was the main thing which Krishna Prabhu talked about? What was the main theme? Definition, परिभाषा, शुद्ध भक्ति की परिभाषा. किसी को याद है? Anybody remembers? कैसे शुरू होता है वो श्लोक? सब मेरे पीछे दोहराएंगे. अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यम, ज्ञान कर्मादि अनावृतम, अनुकूलेन कृष्णानो शीलनं भक्तिरुत्तमा. This is a very important shloka to memorize. सबको ये श्लोक याद कर लेना चाहिए, कंठस्थ कर लेना चाहिए. क्यों? क्योंकि इसमें शुद्ध भक्ति की परिभाषा है. This has the definition of शुद्ध भक्ति. So we'll quickly talk about those. We'll quickly revise those things. अन्याभिलाषिता, अच्छा, उसमें भी Prji talked about primary characteristics and secondary characteristics. Remember, स्वरूप लक्षण है, तटस्थ लक्षण. What are the primary characteristics? What are the things discussed here? अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यम, ज्ञान कर्मादि अनावृतम, अनुकूलेन कृष्णानुशीलनम भक्तिरुत्तमम. Correct? So what are the primary characteristics? Anukulena Krishnanushīlanam. That's most important. First, primary. Anukulena means what? Favorable. So Kamsa and Shishupal are also every time remembering Krishna. Kamsa, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Oh, पानी भी पी रहा है तो उसको लगता है this is Krishna. He will kill because उसको आकाशवाणी हुआ था ना. There was an आकाशवाणी that Kamsa, the Krishna, eighth son of Devaki, will kill. So therefore, everywhere he was seeing Krishna, Krishna. He had a terror of Krishna. So that means 24/7 he was remembering Krishna. Is that Shuddha Bhakti or not? Why? Because of this word. Anukulena. Anukulena nahi tha wo, pratikul tha. He was not desiring to please Krishna. He was afraid of Krishna. So that is not Shuddha Bhakti. Anukulena. So it should be pleasing to Krishna. Two things actually. It should be pleasing to Krishna and you should have the intent to please Krishna. You should have a deliberate intent to please Krishna. So accidentally please ho gaye, that's a different thing. Remember Prabhuji talked about accidentally pleasing Krishna and intentionally pleasing Krishna. Remember everybody? We should remember whatever we are. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, इधर से आगे जाते जा रहे हैं, पीछे का छूटते जा रहे हैं. We are going ahead and we are whitewashing whatever we are learning. No, every session builds upon the previous session, and we should always remember and contemplate on whatever we are reading hearing. तो क्लास सुनते समय नोट्स बना लेना चाहिए. उसके बाद घर जाके थोड़ा फैमिली मेंबर्स के साथ डिस्कस कर सकते हैं, और थोड़ा उसके बारे में सोच सकते हैं. कुछ क्वेश्चंस आया तो अपने फैसिलिटेटर से पूछ सकते हैं, एंड देन इस तरह से नेक्स्ट क्लास के लिए रेडी हो सकते हैं. लाइक दैट. So accidentally pleasing Krishna versus intentionally pleasing Krishna. So Shuddha Bhakti means intentionally pleasing Krishna. So Anukulena and Krishna, that is important. Shuddha Bhakti के definition में Krishna है. ऐसा नहीं है कि हमको जैसे sometimes people say okay गणेश जी की भक्ति. Actually that is wonderful, that is nice. But what is the definition of pure devotional service? Pure devotional service will always be unto God. And who is God? Krishna, the supreme object of worship. Who is Krishna? Supreme object of worship. Simple. तो अगर भक्ति होनी है तो किसकी होनी होगी? सुप्रीम ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ वर्शिप की. क्योंकि किसी और की करेंगे तो वो छोटा रह जाएगा, कम रह जाएगा, पूरा नहीं होगा. ठीक है, करेंगे तो अच्छी बात है. तो 2 से 3 में जाएंगे, 3 से 4 में जाएंगे. जो गणेश जी की 50 लाइफ पूजा किया है वो इस लाइफ में कृष्णा के पास आ गया. जो शिव जी की बहुत पूजा किया है वो उसके बाद धीरे धीरे जहाँ कृष्ण शिव जी गए वहां पे वो भी आ गया. Who is the आराध्य of शिव जी? कृष्णा. Therefore शिव जी is the topmost Vaishnava. So therefore it's not about right or wrong, it's about a journey. कई बार लोग पूछते हैं अच्छा डेमिगॉड वर्शिप या गणेश जी की पूजा करना सही है कि गलत है. यहाँ पर सही गलत की बात नहीं है. एक्चुअली सनातन धर्म टॉक्स अबाउट पीपल एट ऑल लेवल्स. हर एक के लिए कुछ ना कुछ है जिससे कि वो वहां से एक स्टेप आगे आ जाए, एक स्टेप आगे आ जाए, एक स्टेप आगे आ जाए. इट्स अ जर्नी, इट्स अ जर्नी. एंड दोज हु आर इंटेलिजेंट, will they do the lower things or will they want to do the topmost things? Especially when Krishna has told that yes, this topmost thing is wonderful. Why do you want to come to me indirectly? Better to come to me directly. That is intelligence. Okay. So Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam. Anu, remember we discussed this word Anu also last time. Krishna was talking very nicely. Anu means following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. And by the way, if you remember, we also discussed that Krishna includes his expansions, his paraphernalia, his pure devotees. Therefore, we always say that Krishna consciousness includes and surpasses everything. So let's say you are a Krishna conscious devotee. Should you be kind to your neighbor or not? Why? Only Krishna is should be. Why should you be kind to your neighbor? Because this neighbor is a son or daughter of Krishna. So I am trying to please father and I am trying to kill sibling. How is it possible? Right? Therefore, will a Krishna conscious devotee, will a Krishna conscious person be a good citizen or not? Yes. Why? So the bhakti means only Krishna. Yes. Government is representative, good government is representative of Krishna, and also this whole land and all that is all Krishna's energy, correct? So therefore we have to do our duties very nicely to please Krishna. We have a duty as a citizen, we have a duty as a son, duty as a mother, duty as father, duty as daughter, duty as everything, right? Duty as a scientist, duty as doctor, duty as software engineer. We have to do those duties very nicely to please Krishna. And that also is Shuddha Bhakti. So Krishna Anukulena Krishna Anu, and that should we do by our own whims and fantasy. That अच्छा आज मन कर रहा है ऐसे करते हैं भक्ति कृष्णा, कल मन करेगा ऐसे करते हैं भक्ति कृष्णा. Should it be that way? It should be, and we discussed in the first shloka utpat eva kalpa. If you do that, sometimes people think, oh, bhakti means this, because anyway it's a matter of heart. So heart wise I can do anything and everything spontaneously. No, that is sahajiya. That can be sahajiya. That is another extreme, wherein we take Krishna cheaply or lightly, or we take devotional service cheaply or lightly, without proper training. So therefore Srimad Bhagavatam, before we come to 10th canto, wherein we understand the sweetness of Krishna's pastimes, we have to first read the first 9 cantos, wherein we understand the greatness of Krishna. So Krishna is great or not? Krishna is sweet or not? So Krishna is great also, and Krishna is sweet also. For us, first, what is important to know? Greatness of Krishna. Then only we will develop that awe and reverence which is needed. And should we only understand about greatness of Krishna? That will make us dry. अरे ठीक है होगा great, मैं भी क्या कम great हूँ. But when we understand the sweetness of Krishna, then we feel like loving him. We feel like developing our relationship with him. So therefore, whenever we hear, we should hear both about greatness of Krishna as well as about sweetness of Krishna. And therefore, it should be done in following the footsteps of the predecessor acharyas. Therefore, coming in parampara is very important. You know, ISKCON is coming in parampara. Which parampara ISKCON is coming in? What is the name of the parampara? Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Because Krishna gave knowledge to Brahma, Brahma gave to Madhvacharya, so therefore Brahma, Madhva, and Gaudiya because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, preached in Gaudadesh. So Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So we should always remember this. We are not in yet another spiritual organization. हम ऐसा ही किसी एक spiritual organization में नहीं है कि हाँ ठीक है कुछ तो करना है अच्छा लगता है आके हर संडे नहीं हम लोग एक we have taken education in a college. Parampara is like a college. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. There are three things. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Guru is the teacher. कॉलेज में क्या होता है टीचर होता है ना सोचो आपको बीटेक डिग्री चाहिए बीटेक डिग्री तो आप घर में बैठ के बीटेक डिग्री ले सकते हो कैन यू टेक बीटेक डिग्री सिटिंग एट होम नो लेट्स से जैसे जो भी जैसे आईआईटी वगैरह में जो बुक्स होता है एवरीबॉडी नोस व्हाट ऑल बुक्स आर टॉट तो आप बाजार जाओ शॉप जाओ वो बुक्स खरीद लो घर में पढ़ लो अच्छे से पढ़ लो वो जितना पढ़ रहा है उससे भी अच्छे से पढ़ लो विल यू गेट डिग्री व्हाट इज मिसिंग व्हाई विल यू नॉट गेट बुक तो पूरा पढ़ लिया अच्छे से तो व्हाट इज मिसिंग कॉलेज इज मिसिंग डिग्री देगा कौन और आपके घर बैठा बुक पढ़ के डिग्री का वैल्यू ही नहीं है उसका प्रमाणित नहीं है ऑथराइज नहीं है तो कॉलेज चाहिए अच्छा ठीक है चलो अभी कॉलेज में जो मेरा जो प्रोफेसर है वो मेरा चाचा है तो घर बैठ के मेरे को पढ़ा रहा है मिलेगी डिग्री कॉलेज चाहिए सिमिलरली तीनों है ना कॉलेज तो गुरु इज टीचर प्रोफेसर शास्त्र इज बुक्स एंड परंपरा or sadhu all the previous acharyas they are like college correct so if we want trustworthy knowledge if we want certified knowledge pramanik with degree certificate and all that then that should require all these three things college books and professors याद रखिए और ये है शब्द प्रमाण इसको बोलते हैं शब्द प्रमाण तो जो हमारा नॉलेज आ रहा है वो इन तीनों के कॉम्बिनेशन से आना चाहिए जो हमारे प्रैक्टिसेस हैं वो इन तीनों से अलाइंड होना चाहिए ऐसा नहीं कि वो कुछ बोल रहे हैं हम अपना दिमाग में मेरे पास भक्ति है कृष्ण की मेरा बहुत स्वभाव है तो ये भी करो नहीं हम क्वालिफाइड नहीं है ऐसा करने कुछ आचार्य ऐसा कर सकते हैं कभी कभी बिकॉज ऑफ टाइम प्लेस एंड सर्कमस्टेंसेस पर हम नहीं कर सकते हमें क्या करना है फॉलो करना है इनफैक्ट धर्म सतत्वम निहितम गुहायाम महाजनो येन गता सपंथा धर्म क्या है क्या नहीं है भक्ति क्या है क्या नहीं है कभी कभी बहुत ही थिन लाइन हो जाता है यू अंडरस्टैंड थिन लाइन मतलब थोड़ा भी हुआ तो इस तरफ चला गया थोड़ा भी डिफरेंस हुआ तो इस तरफ चला गया कभी कभी बहुत सूक्ष्म होता है सटल होता है और ये समझना बहुत मुश्किल होता है तो इसके लिए क्या करने का ज्यादा दिमाग नहीं लगाने का महाजनों ये नहीं करता समझता जो ग्रेट डिवोटीज ने किया है पहले जब कुंती महारानी के ऊपर परेशानी आई तो कुंती ने तलवार उठा के सबको मारना शुरू किया कि भगवान की शरण नहीं गई तो जो ग्रेट डिवोटीज ने किया या जब पृथ्वी और इंद्र की लड़ाई हुई तो क्या दोनों एक दूसरे से तलवार निकाल के मारपीट करना शुरू कर दिए नहीं ब्रह्मा ने बोला पृथ्वी को रुक जाओ तो रुक गए झगड़ा को बढ़ाया नहीं इवन तो पृथ्वी वाज राइट एंड इंद्र वाज रॉन्ग ये भागवतम में एक कहानी आती है हम लोग बाद में देखेंगे कभी एक लीला आती है मेरे पृथ्वी और इंद्र के बीच में झगड़ा हो गया कौन सही था पृथ्वी गलत कौन था पर ब्रह्मा ने किसको चुप हो जाने के लिए बोला हमारे साथ होता है बहुत बार छोटा भाई बड़ा भाई भाई बहन में होता है जो समझदार होता है उसी को समझाते तो दूसरा वाला बोलता है हर बार मेरे को ही क्यों बोलते हो वो बोलता है मेरे को ही क्यों बोलते हो जो समझेगा उसी को समझाया जाएगा ना करेक्ट तो पृथ्वी को बोला गया तुम समझ जाओ so even though he was right he was told to withdraw this is called as right beyond right तो रिलेशनशिप्स में क्या जरूरी है राइट और रॉन्ग टू बी राइट बियॉन्ड राइट आप समझे इसका मतलब राइट बियॉन्ड राइट बहुत बार हमारा जो सफलता है वो ये नहीं है कि अरे मैं सही तुम गलत और मैंने प्रूव कर दिया अब नो तो उससे क्या हो गया ऑपरेशन सक्सेसफुल पेशेंट है अब ये ऐसा हो लेकिन क्या करेगा अच्छा he is also trying to please Krishna I am also trying to please Krishna okay there is some misunderstanding no problem right beyond right let us see how we can shake hands and go ahead right like that so that's very important so all this comes actually ये एक word जो है ना Krishna Nushīlanam एक word में we can have hours and hours of seminar but right now I have to get into the next topic and my danger is always this time bomb atom bomb actually but anyway so Krishnanu Sheelanam and Sheelanam it is about behavior it is about cultivation it is not just sitting on the chair and discussing शायद ऐसा है शायद वैसा है मन से कुछ करते नहीं it's about active engagement remember we discussed last time active engagement so it's about cultivation we cultivate something let's say we say like okay हमें humble बनना है तो क्या अचानक से ओवरनाइट हम हम्बल हो जाएंगे? अभी तक हम कृष्णा बनने की कोशिश करते आए थे. How many lives we have spent in this world? What do you think? Many lives we have spent. ऐसा नहीं, this is our first life in this world. Many lives we have spent. In every life, what have we tried to do? We have tried to become Krishna. Now all of a sudden somebody is telling, "Hey, become servant of Krishna." Do you think we'll have overnight transformation? So what will we do now? We have to cultivate, practice gradually, practice. So is that not being duplicate then? मैं humble हूँ नहीं, और दिखा रहा हूँ. ये तो duplicate होना हो गया ना, अंदर कुछ बाहर कुछ, मुंह में राम बगल में छुरा. अभी क्या है? How to understand? हाँ, ये कैसे? ये duplicate होना हो गया कि cultivate करना हो गया? There is a thin line. वापस कैसे समझेंगे? हाँ, सुप्रिया माता जी एकदम सही बोली. एक्चुअली हमारा इंटेंट क्या है? ठीक है, हम प्योर डिवोटी नहीं है, पर प्योर डिवोटी बनने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. और उसके लिए जो भी अच्छा है वो हम डिटर्मिनेशन से ले रहे हैं. अनुकूल संकल्प एंड प्रतिकूल विवर्जन. और जो भी उसके लिए अच्छा नहीं है वो हम छोड़ने के लिए डिटरमाइंड है. और जो भी उसके लिए अच्छा है वो हम लेने के लिए डिटरमाइंड है. दैट मींस आई एम रियली सीरियस अबाउट इट. आई एम नॉट जस्ट पुटिंग अ शो. और उसका एक और टेस्ट ऑफ टाइम. ओके, इधर ऐसा कर रहे हैं पर दूसरी जगह ऐसा नहीं कर रहे, या घर में ऐसा नहीं कर रहे. जो सिंसियर डिवोटी होगा वो 24/7 हम्बल होने की कोशिश करेगा, विद वाइफ आल्सो. With children also. This is where difficulty starts. Correct? This is where difficulty starts. And wife with husband. I mean, whenever I'm saying anything about husband or wife, it's equivalent to both, like spouse, basically. So this is where difficulty starts, and that is the purpose of all our reading hearing. हम जो reading hearing करते हैं, हम जो chanting करते हैं, उससे कुछ तो असर होना चाहिए ना हमारे जीवन पर. अभी सोचो भगवान बोलेंगे नालायक, 10 साल पहले भी ऐसे ही था, अभी भी ऐसे, कोई फर्क नहीं. You say what kind of rascal nonsense he is. So bhakti means progression. Prabhupada says we have to become what kind of devotee? Progressive devotee. That's very important. और इसके लिए शीलनम, अनुशीलनम, we have to cultivate it. तो अगर मैं 5 साल पहले जैसा डिवोटी था, आज वैसा ही होना चाहिए क्या मेरे को? उससे खराब होना चाहिए? कभी भी होता है डिवोटी लोग के साथ, अभी इतना झगड़ा हो जाता है कि वो बोलता है उससे खराब हो जाता है. These are our tests. We have to pass these tests. उससे वैसे रहना चाहिए कि उससे खराब होना चाहिए कि उससे अच्छा होना चाहिए. We have to become better on a daily basis if we can. We have to become better. That is Sheelanam, cultivating. And it is active engagement. By what? By body, mind or words? All three. BMW. किसको चाहिए BMW? ये देखो. So BMW means what? Body, mind and words. जो सन्यासी होता है, जो सिंह डंडा कैरी करता है, वैष्णव संप्रदाय में एक दंड सन्यास नहीं होता है, त्रिदंडी सन्यास होता है. आपने देखा कभी कोई त्रिदंडी सन्यासी लिखा रहता है? त्रिदंडी सन्यासी. You have not heard? Sometimes I've seen, even not even in ISKCON, even outside. My maternal grandparents, they used to go to some satsang and all that. तो जो सन्यासी थे उनका लेटर हेड होता था, एक अष्टोत्तर 1008 10008, जितना ज्यादा जीरो उतना बड़ा सन्यासी, something like that. तो उसमें ऐसा लिखा था त्रिदंडी सन्यासी. ऐसे होता है त्रिदंडी सन्यासी के ऊपर तीन डंडा है कैसा? But then बाद में I came to know, see that's why ISKCON means education and training, so that we understand everything properly. So Mayavad sannyasi means एक दंड संन्यास, and वैष्णव संन्यास means त्रिदंड संन्यास. वो जो तीन डंडा होता है ना, वो देखा है सन्यासी लोग डंडा रखते हैं. So that represents surrender to Krishna by body, mind, words. That's what it is. So similarly, if we have to cultivate Krishna consciousness, if we have to engage in Krishna consciousness, तो कैसे एंगेज करना चाहिए? बॉडी से कि माइंड से कि वर्ड से? तीनों से. ठीक है, बॉडी से कैसे कर सकते हैं जल्दी बताइए. अभी आए इधर बॉडी से तो आए, बॉडी नहीं होता तो वहीं बैठे रहते. करेक्ट, बॉडी को यूज किया सेंटर में आने के लिए. और क्या? ऑफर ओबेसेंसेस, दंडवत कर रहे हैं बॉडी से, एक दूसरे को सर्व कर रहे हैं बॉडी से, रियली वर्शिप कर रहे हैं बॉडी से. तो बॉडी तो बिना बॉडी के तो कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता है. कुछ भी है तो बॉडी तो यूज हो ही रहा है. अच्छा, केवल बॉडी यूज हुआ तो प्रॉब्लम है. क्या हुआ तो यूज हो रहा है? माइंड. बोलते हैं एब्सेंट माइंडेड. Absent minded नहीं होना है. When we are doing Krishna conscious activity, should we be absent minded? We should be present minded, full with mind. Plus we should remember Krishna. That's also worshipping by mind. When we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. That time when we are trying to hear, then also we are engaging our mind. And words से कैसे सर्व कर सकते हो आप? कृष्णा के बारे में बताओ सबको. Prabhupada जब शुरू में in 1965, 66, 67, that time, new young boys and girls, hippies, westerners, they would come. Prabhupada would chant Hare Krishna. They would say, okay, Hare Krishna. Then Prabhupada would ask, कैसा लगा? Did you like it? They said, अच्छा लगा. Prabhupada said, okay, go and tell others. That's simple. That's also preaching. So anytime, if we are feeling happy with Krishna, then naturally you want to share your happiness, or you want to lock your happiness inside your bag and put, what do you want to do? Share. That's the symptom of happiness. If one is not wanting to share, means he is not happy only. Therefore, it is said, happy devotee is best preacher. Imagine after coming to Krishna consciousness, you have become very unhappy. अरे पहले आराम से सोते थे 10 बजे तक. ये माला पकड़ा दिया. किसने पकड़ा? कौन है? किधर गया? If we are thinking like that, then whenever we say about Krishna, will it affect anybody? They will want to run away. अरे भैया हमारे लाइफ में कम प्रॉब्लम है क्या कि तुम्हारे साथ आके और प्रॉब्लम बनाएंगे अपने लाइफ का. So therefore, we have to be happy practicing Krishna consciousness. If we are practicing nicely, according to the way given, then we will get happiness. That's what we'll discuss today. कि भक्ति से क्या होता है? So Anushilanam, and what? So we have to share Krishna, we have to speak about Krishna to others. Speaking does not mean only sitting at Vyaasacharya and speaking. It also means, जैसे you will see in every devotee's life this happens. That when we have relatives, let's say householders, right? We have relatives. So when they come to home, पहले politics का बात होता था, land का बात होता था, investment का बात होता था, अभी कृष्णा का बात होता है. Automatically, you cannot avoid it. आपके घर में altar है, वो आके पूछेंगे अरे वाह अच्छा है, अच्छा ये करते हो, बस शुरू हो जाए. आपने तिलक लगाया, वो बोले अच्छा तिलक क्यों लगाया, जरूरी है क्या, ये वो, अच्छा चाय कॉफी छोड़ना होता है, कंपलसरी है क्या, whatever. So you see our nature of our conversations change. हम डॉक्टर हैं, हमारा पेशेंट है, तो उसको भी कृष्णा के बारे में बता दिया धीरे धीरे. Whatever. कोई पूछता है आप इतना खुश कैसे रहते हैं? अरे क्योंकि मैं कृष्णा से कनेक्टेड हूँ. मैंने अपना प्लग किधर लगा दिया है? कृष्णा के प्लग में, और वो तो सोर्स ऑफ हैप्पीनेस है. तो करंट अगर आप प्लग में लगाओगे तो करंट लगेगा ना. आपको करंट नहीं लग रहा है, इसका मतलब क्या हो रहा है? आप प्लग में नहीं, आपका स्विच ऑन नहीं है. सबको करंट लगना चाहिए. कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस में क्या होना चाहिए? व्हाट शुड हैपन इन कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस? सबको करंट लगना चाहिए. और एक को करंट लगता है, उसको दूसरा छूटा है, क्या होता है? उसको पीछे वाला छूटा है, क्या होता है? Like that, there is a change. There is a parampara of current. What is Krishna consciousness parampara? Current. That current is our enthusiasm. And mercy comes down through that parampara, and prayers go up through that parampara. Prayers go up through that parampara, and mercy comes down to that. And our service also is accepted through that parampara. Today evening we are going to discuss about offering the bhoga. तो उसमें हम देखेंगे कैसे परंपरा से ऊपर जाएगा. ठीक है. तो अभी इसको आई थिंक इसको अभी शॉर्ट करते हैं. एक quickly because I have to get into today's topic. So very quickly some case studies. Let's say there is a new devotee. He wants to chant more rounds because that will make him famous. Is this pure devotional service? क्यों, क्या प्रॉब्लम हो गया इधर? नहीं, टेक्निकली बताइए मेरे को. अच्छा भाई, हम we discussed the स्वरूप लक्षण and the secondary characteristics also we remember, right? अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यम ज्ञान कर्मादि. I'll not get into those things again. But a new devotee wanting to chant more rounds so that he becomes more famous, because chanting करेगा सब बोलेंगे हरि बोल. जैसे that was chant हरि बोल 3 times for Bhavna Mata ji. She started chanting 16 rounds. हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल. Right? So now if somebody is chanting more rounds so that they can become more famous, is this pure devotional service? इसमें क्या गड़बड़ हो गया? अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यम गड़बड़ हो गया, कि ज्ञान कर्मादि अनावृतम गड़बड़ हो गया, कि अनुकूलेन गड़बड़ हो गया, कि कृष्णानुशीलन गड़बड़ हो गया. क्या गड़बड़ हो गया? अन्याभिलाषिता. उसको डिजायर आ गया दूसरा. क्या? नेम, फेम, पोजीशन, प्रेस्टीज. तो ये अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यम नहीं हुआ. करेक्ट. ओके. अनदर केस स्टडी. A grasta devotee doing गर्भदान संस्कार to produce nice case Krishna conscious children. गर्भदान संस्कार आपको पता है? See, our Sanatan Dharma, our Vedic culture is so wonderful कि एक सोल इस दुनिया में आने से पहले से लेकर सोल के दुनिया से जाने के बाद तक संस्कार होते हैं अलग-अलग. फर्स्ट इज गर्भदान संस्कार, लास्ट इज अंतिम संस्कार. इसलिए उसको लास्ट बोलते हैं ना, अंतिम संस्कार, अंत्येष्टि क्रिया, लास्ट. उस समय सोल जा चुका है, स्टिल संस्कार. इधर सोल आया नहीं है, स्टिल संस्कार. That is called as गर्भदान संस्कार. Before the man and woman unite and before conception happens, उसके पहले करते हैं. So let's say a grasta devotee. So yeah, this is like, in one sense, if you see, these are like following some Vedic rituals and Vedic processes, right? So a grasta devotee doing this with a desire to get nice Krishna conscious children. Is it pure devotional service or not? Pure devotional service, because the intent is right. Very nice. Okay. Devotee keeping Lakshmi ji in the altar Because he knows कि वर्शिप करेंगे लक्ष्मी जी को तो पैसा भी आता है. Is this pure devotion service or not? Why? ज्ञान कर्मादीनामृतम नहीं हुआ ये. हमको लग रहा है कि अच्छा इस तरह के जो रिचुअलिस्टिक वर्शिप होते हैं या जो कर्म कांड में प्रोविजन है पंचोपासना, कि सूर्य का वर्शिप करो तो अच्छा हेल्थ मिलेगा, गणेश जी का वर्शिप करो तो ऑब्स्टिकल्स जाएगा, एंड लाइक दैट, तो इससे हमें ऊपर उठना है. बिकॉज कृष्ण का वर्शिप कर रहे हैं और कहीं ना कहीं डाउट है, कृष्ण का वर्शिप नहीं मिला तो ऐसा मतलब वी आर नॉट टेकिंग शेल्टर ऑफ कृष्ण. इज देयर अ डाउट हु इज मोर पावरफुल, गणेश जी, दुर्गा, लक्ष्मी जी और कृष्ण? So if you are trying to approach Krishna, should we have any doubt? तो आधा इधर आधा उधर आगे जाके गड़बड़ हो गया तो और इसको भी ले लो उसको भी ले लो. Question? अब वो आएगा बाद में. Okay. So yeah. So this is covered by karma. ज्ञान कर्म है. A devotee attends Mangal Aarti every day to maintain his position in core team. Let's say there is a core team management committee of this center. और बोला गया है core team वालों को सब सुबह मंगल आरती में आना है. So somebody is coming only so that he can maintain his position in core team. Is this pure devotional service? A devotee regularly performs yogasana, पूरा एकदम अच्छा से yogasana, to keep himself healthy or practicing and preaching Krishna consciousness. So you understand what we are trying to say? It's not necessarily कि अरे देखो ये योगा कर रहा है, अरे योगा कर रहा है कैसा devotee हो गया ये, तो खाली शुद्ध भक्ति करना चाहिए था. That's not the point. What is the desire? What is the intent? And what's the purpose for it? अच्छा, एक डिवोटी हर एकादशी में फास्टिंग कर रहा है एकदम अच्छे से to get a good child. Devotional service or not? ये थोड़ा कर्म कांड में चला गया. You know why we fast on Ekadashi? Some people think we fast on Ekadashi so that it's good for health. 15 days fasting is good for health. Do we fast on Ekadashi for better health? That can be a byte. Or do we want good health? तो आएगा तो मना नहीं करेंगे. नहीं sorry. Then sometimes we say that okay, जितना पैसा मिल रहा है उतना ठीक. So let's say tomorrow your boss is telling, our company is very happy with you. We want to give a bonus of 5 lakhs. What will we say? नहीं हम पैसा के लिए काम नहीं करेंगे. Will we say like that? आया तो ले लो ना, क्या प्रॉब्लम? 5 लाख में से 2.5 लाख डोनेशन दे दो सेंटर में. आपको इतना ही ज्यादा हो रहा है. 5 लाख दे दो. अच्छा. So point is, so therefore it's important to understand whether we want something or whether we welcome something or whether we don't mind something. You are getting what I'm saying. So our primary purpose of chanting Hare Krishna is to get good health. True or false? False. Our primary purpose of doing yogasanas is to go back to God. No, because in Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is not Dhyana Yoga or Yogasana. The Yuga Dharma is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. But if by doing Yogasana I can get good health, which I can use to practice bhakti better, then is it wrong? No. So therefore, these things have to be very nicely and clearly understood. What is primary? What is secondary? I may be doing Ekadashi very sincerely and that may be Karma Kanda. And I may be doing Ekadashi very sincerely and that may be Shuddha Bhakti. Why we actually do Ekadashi? Because Krishna likes it. Ekadashi is called as Madhav Tithi. And on Ekadashi, when we stop doing these regular things and when we chant and hear more, therefore the real purpose of fast is to chant more, read more, hear more. खाने खाने का जो टाइम बचा उसमें 2 राउंड और कर दिए. That is the real purpose of fasting. Therefore it is called Upavasa. Upavasa means to stay near Krishna. Vas means to stay, Upa means near. So Upavasa का main purpose क्या है? To reside near Krishna that day more. Okay. Anyway, let's come back to the main topic today. So before this pure devotional service topic, Krishna Prabhu talked about the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. Remember? What were those 6 characteristics? Do you remember? Kleshagni, Shubhada, Moksha Laghutakrit, Chandrananda Visheshatma, and what else? Sri Krishna Akarshini, and one more we are missing. Did we cover 6? No. Sudurlabha. Correct? So he discussed that day Kleshagni. Right? What is Kleshagni? Okay, what are we discussing? कि ये जो definition सीखा pure devotional service का, उस तरह से अगर pure devotional service करेंगे, if we do pure devotional service like that, then what will happen gradually? These 6 things will happen. These are the symptoms or characteristics or lakshan of pure devotion service. What happens as a result of that? Hmm? So what was the first one? Kleshagni. This was already covered, but quick recap. Kleshagni means relief from material distress. जैसे शत्रुघ्न, have you heard of शत्रुघ्न? कौन है शत्रुघ्न? राम लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न. शत्रुघ्न का मतलब क्या होता है? शत्रु को मारने वाला, शत्रु को खत्म करने वाला. सिमिलरली क्लेशाग्नि, अग्नि नहीं, एक्चुअली फायर नहीं है, GHNI है, क्लेशाग्नि है. जैसे शत्रुघ्न में GH है ऐसा. तो क्लेशाग्नि मींस व्हाट? क्लेश को खत्म करने वाला, राइट? सो इसको हम ऐसे समझ सकते हैं वेरी क्विकली. लेट्स से देयर इज वेरी स्कॉर्चिंग सन और एकदम 42 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड टेंपरेचर है और एकदम आप डेजर्ट में हो और एकदम तेज धूप आ रही है, मतलब यू आर लाइक पूरा यू आर बर्निंग. उसके बाद लेट अस से somebody gives you एकदम nice cold water to drink or you get into nice AC room, all of a sudden you will feel free from the stress of heat, scorching heat. Similarly, when one practices Shuddha Bhakti, one feels free from this scorching heat. Trividata. So this destroys klesha. But I will not get into these details because this was already discussed. The first characteristic of Shuddha Bhakti was already discussed. That means when we practice Shuddha Bhakti, हमारे सारे क्लेश खत्म हो जाते हैं. क्लेश मतलब क्या हो गया? त्रिविध ताप बोलते हैं ना, त्रिविध ताप. जो दुर्गा जी का त्रिशूल है, देखा है दुर्गा के हाथ में क्या होता है? त्रिशूल होता है. उसे किसको मार रहे हैं वो? महिषासुर को. पर वो महिषासुर हम सब है, हम सबको मार रहे हैं. और वो जो त्रिशूल है वो क्या रिप्रेजेंट करता है? कौन कौन से तीन क्लेश होते हैं? एनीबॉडी रिमेंबर्स? आध्यात्मिक क्लेश, आदि भौतिक क्लेश एंड आदि दैविक क्लेश. इनको बोलते हैं त्रिविध ताप. हम इनसे जल रहे हैं एकदम, वी आर बर्निंग. और भक्ति जब करते हैं शुद्ध भक्ति तो क्या होता है? वो बर्नर ऐसे ऑफ हो जाता है. ओके, so now let's very quickly discuss the remaining 5. Second characteristic of शुद्ध भक्ति is शुभदा. शुभदा मतलब, शुभ मतलब ऑस्पिशियस और दा मतलब देना. शुभदा मतलब शुद्ध भक्ति जब हम करते हैं तो क्या होता है? ऑस्पिशियसनेस कम्स इन आवर लाइफ. मंगलमय, मंगल, हमारे जीवन में मंगल ही मंगल होता है, सब मंगलमय हो जाता है क्योंकि भगवान आ गए ना. इसके लिए यू नो प्रभुपाद ने कब्रिस्तान के ऊपर भी टेंपल बना दिया. इमेजिन, मतलब बहुत बार ये सब जब अगर इफ यू सी फ्रॉम कर्मकांड पर्सपेक्टिव, राइट, देन द ऑल्टर शुड बी इन द ईस्ट एंड देन सो मेनी कंसीडरेशंस आर देयर, यू नो. अरे वो जगह ऐसी होनी चाहिए, वहां पर ऐसा कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए, देन ओनली यू मेक अ टेंपल फ्रॉम कर्मकांड पर्सपेक्टिव, राइट. But a pure devotee of the Lord understands that Krishna actually is beyond all these things, right? Can Krishna become dirty? Krishna can make everything pure. Can urine on the road make sun dirty? Sun can make the urine pure, correct? Sun makes everything pure, correct? Urine है तो sun rays जब उस पे touch होता है तो sun impure नहीं होता है. Similarly, Krishna is supremely pure, supremely auspicious. So if at all there is any inauspiciousness, the moment we have Krishna or the moment we say Krishna, inauspiciousness goes away. एक बार प्रभुपाद के लाइफ में ऐसा हुआ था. प्रभुपाद wanted to purchase a house. बजट थोड़ा कम हुआ शायद, तो वो लुकिंग फॉर लो बजट हाउस. तो कहीं मिल नहीं रहा था, तो एक हाउस बड़ा सस्ता में, बहुत बड़ा हाउस बड़ा सस्ते में मिल रहा था. अगर ऐसा होता है तो मतलब क्या होता है? कुछ तो गड़बड़ है, उधर कोई सुसाइड किया होगा, कुछ तो हुआ होगा, यू नो, समथिंग इज रॉन्ग, वास्तु गड़बड़ होगा. तो प्रभुपाद से तो लोग ने बोला कि अरे उस घर में भूत है. घोस्ट होते हैं सच में, ऐसा नहीं कि नहीं होते, होते हैं. तो घोस्ट है उसमें. तो प्रभुपाद बोला नो प्रॉब्लम. प्रभुपाद ने खरीद लिया. प्रभुपाद गए. एक्चुअली अगर आप देखो ना, यू ऑल शुड सी, देयर इज अ नाइस सीरियल कॉल्ड अभय चरण, जिस उन्होंने भक्ति चालू स्वामी महाराज ने बनाया, प्रोड्यूस किया. बहुत अच्छा सीरियल है अभय चरण, प्रभुपाद की जीवनी के ऊपर है. इंग्लिश में भी है, हिंदी में भी है. यू ऑल शुड वॉच दैट सीरियल. एपिसोड्स है उसमें, आई थिंक सब 20-30 एपिसोड्स आते हैं. हां, 40 एपिसोड्स आते हैं. वेरी नाइस. पूरा प्रभुपाद की जीवनी के ऊपर सीरियल है, जिसमें एक्टर्स हैं और यू नो प्रॉपर सीरियल जैसे होता है. तो उस यू नो, सो प्रभुपाद यू नो, ही वेंट इनटू दैट हाउस एंड ही वाज, प्रभुपाद का तो काम था बुक्स लिखना, ट्रांसलेट करना, श्रीमद् भागवत ऑल दैट. And he was doing that. Actually some ghost came and he started troubling him. Prabhupada said, "Hey, keep quiet. Why are you troubling me?" They started troubling again. Then Prabhupada said, "Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare." And this ghost could not tolerate that. You know, then he surrendered to Prabhupada and said, "Please forgive me." So actually, it is a fact. The moment there is Krishna, there cannot be darkness. अगर light है तो darkness हो सकता है क्या? ये सोचो. अभी light है तो darkness है क्या? Can we try to create that light be darkness? Impossible, because light means no darkness by definition. Similarly, Krishna means all auspicious. So the moment Krishna is there, can there be inauspiciousness? No. Therefore, Prabhupada, even on crematorium, even on some Kabristan, Prabhupada created a temple. Now, that does not mean that should be our first choice. Just because we can chant at night also, just before sleeping, does not mean every day we should chant at night only just before sleeping. We should chant in the morning also because that is even better. So, इसलिए what is primary, what is secondary, we have to understand. Anyway, so beginning of all auspiciousness. And then Rupa Goswami says auspiciousness means four things. Auspiciousness means four things. पहला, affection for all living entities. सारे living entities से हमें प्रेम होगा. जब हम भक्ति करना शुरू कर देंगे, पहले क्या होता था? हमारा कुत्ता वाला मेंटालिटी होता था. कौन सा मेंटालिटी? डॉग मेंटालिटी. प्रभुपाद बोलते हैं. डॉग मेंटालिटी मैं आपको बताता हूँ. When we travel in train, sometimes people are very particular about their seat number. 23 तो इधर ही बैठने का. हाँ, वो थोड़ा भी साइड वाला इधर हल्का सा आ जाता है तो have you come across such people? Have you come across such people who are very very particular about इधर थोड़ा भी चला गया, इधर थोड़ा भी चला गया तो they start barking. That is called as dog mentality. Dog का क्या होता है? ऐसा बाउंड्री बना लेता है. उसमें दूसरा डॉग आया तो start barking. That's called तो मैं और मेरा, me and mine. ऐसा. So many times before practicing Krishna consciousness, all of us also have this me and my mentality. किसी का छोटा सर्कल होता है, किसी का बड़ा सर्कल होता है. किसी का सर्कल होता है उसका फैमिली. अब बगल वाला फैमिली अगर तो स्टार्ट barking. Two families are barking, right? But when we practice bhakti, Shuddha bhakti, gradually what happens? Our circle starts increasing more and more and more. और हम सबसे प्रेम करना शुरू करते हैं. क्योंकि हम सब में कृष्णा देख रहे हैं, हम सबको कृष्णा से कनेक्शन देख रहे हैं. करेक्ट? So affection for all living entities. वो हमने मृगारी वाला स्टोरी देखा था. स्पेशली देखा है. मृगारी, remember मृगारी hunter? I don't want to get into details of that now. मतलब शुद्ध भक्ति प्रैक्टिस जब करते हैं तो पहले वो मृगारी नाम का एक हंटर था, वो जानवर को आधा मार के छोड़ दे रहा था. और जब वो भक्त बन गया तो वो चींटी को भी नहीं मारना चाह रहा है, इवन बाय मिस्टेक भी. ऐसा परिवर्तन हो रहा है. पहला और ये शुभ है, ये मंगलमय है. जैसे विवाह होता है ना, विवाह को बोलते हैं मंगलकारी होना चाहिए. एक जो अच्छा विवाह होता है, गुड मैरिज should bring auspiciousness in the whole world. सीताराम विवाह, लक्ष्मी नारायण विवाह. इसलिए साउथ इंडिया में विवाह होता है तो सीताराम के गाने, मतलब भजन, और लक्ष्मी नारायण के भजन भी गाते हैं. Because that's like the ideal marriage. So विवाह, our desire is that the विवाह or the marriage, the विवाह संस्कार should bring auspiciousness to the whole world. अभी क्या हो रहा है? Unfortunately उल्टा हो रहा है. विवाह से बेचारा पहले अच्छा खासा जीवन था दोनों का, वो जीवन में बर्बाद हो जाता है. वो दोनों का, forget about this family, that family, whole world. That's unfortunate. Marriage should bring auspiciousness in the whole world. When two people come together, a boy and a girl, their marriage should bring auspiciousness in the whole world. Therefore, Vishwamitra is called Vishwamitra. In Ramayana, who brought Ram and Sita together? That's why his name is Vishwamitra. Because by bringing Ram and Sita together, he brought auspiciousness in the whole world. He became the friend of the whole world. And therefore, Vishwa. Why did I go to marriage? So affection for all living entities. Right. Second, being attractive तो ये पहला होता है auspiciousness से. दूसरा auspiciousness का क्या सिम्टम है? क्या होता है auspiciousness से? मंगल से you become attractive to all living entities. पहले आपको देख के लोग बोलते थे, अभी आपको देख के लोग को अच्छा लगता है. People also start loving you. People get attracted to you. And therefore now you should not become some big Baba giving Ashirwad to everybody. That is Krishna will test you now. Otherwise you will. Once I was hearing in a lecture, that when people are sitting and hearing your class and they are very happy in that class and you are attached to this garland which they have given you, then you will keep sitting here with the garland, they will all go back to Godhead. Okay. So you understand? So point is, these things will happen, but these things, if we don't understand in a right spirit, then we may also fall down because of this. Now everybody has become attracted to me. So I get followers, Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim. But every morning we pray, Na Dhanam, Na Janam, Na Sundarim. But this is the second thing which will happen because of auspiciousness. Third, one automatically develops a lot of good qualities. One develops good qualities. जैसे आप देखो कि जो भक्त होते हैं वो नशा नहीं करते हैं, मांस नहीं खाते हैं, झूठ नहीं बोलते हैं. When somebody asks Prabhupada, how will we identify your followers? Prabhupada said, my followers will be perfect gentlemen. You see, that is what happens when we practice bhakti. People become naturally good and kind and धोखा नहीं करेंगे, cheat नहीं करेंगे. क्यों? अच्छा, एक भक्त cheating क्यों नहीं करता? अभी जैसे कल ही हुआ. I and my son went to swimming pool. उधर में बगल में किसी का स्विमिंग कैप रखा हुआ था. तो एक बच्चा सोच सकता है एक स्विमिंग कैप लगा लेते हैं और कभी-कभी फट जाता है, एक्स्ट्रा काम आएगा. कोई नहीं देख रहा है, स्विमिंग कैप उठा लो. I'm just giving a simple example. Let's say कहीं और हो सकता है, कुछ और हो सकता है. Let's say you found something lying there, 1,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees, and there is nobody watching you, and that is there. What will a devotee do? Will devotee keep inside and see nobody watching? Why will a devotee not do that? CCTV camera of Krishna is there 24/7, all over, and we want to please Krishna. So will you ever do something which will displease Krishna, even if nobody is watching you? So automatically, अब आपके पास choice भी नहीं है, चाह के भी नहीं कर सकते. If you are really serious about going back to Godhead, if you are really serious about pleasing Krishna, even if the desire may come, you will say, "Arey." Then gradually, initially you will do out of reluctance, but gradually it becomes your habit, right? Let's say चलते चलते आपका पैर टकरा गया. Let's say altar cupboard is open, and while walking, all of a sudden your feet touches it. Now when everybody is there, everybody behaves like pure devotee. When everybody is there and watching us, then we behave like pure devotee. एकदम अंदर आते में भी उधर दंडवत करेंगे, बाहर जाते में भी दंडवत करेंगे, and all like that. We follow each and every detail very nicely, and everybody is watching. When nobody is watching, sometimes you may think, छोड़ क्या? Let's say we touched our feet with something, right? Ideally, feet touch होता है तुरंत क्या करना चाहिए? कोई नहीं देख रहा है तो छोड़ क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Will a devotee do like that? मतलब लाइफ थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है, पर अच्छा है. You are pleasing Krishna. Now you cannot cheat, because if you cheat, who are you cheating? Hey, can you cheat Krishna? Who are you cheating? Yourself. When a demon is attacking Krishna, who is in danger? So when you are cheating Krishna, who is getting cheated? Fourth, happiness. You become happy. अभी हम लोग फोर मतलब शुभदा ही डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. We are discussing शुभदा, auspiciousness. Rupa Goswami says auspiciousness has four characteristics. What four characteristics? पहला, affection and compassion to all living entities. दूसरा, you become all living entities get attracted to you. इसलिए कल मच्छर ज्यादा काटा. Third, develop good qualities, and fourth, happiness. That's another characteristic. This happiness is amazing happiness. And इस happiness के सामने आपको और कोई happiness नहीं चाहिए. अभी हमने टेस्ट नहीं किया है वो happiness, इसलिए we are not able to realize. I just wanted to quickly show one video. We'll watch one video about this. This video as such is not in parampara, but then what I'm trying to convey, the message I'm trying to convey is in parampara. Can I get internet here in this by any chance? Yes. Oh, can I do it? Oh, yeah. On. Yeah. Yeah, connected. Just a 2-minute thing, I want to highlight one thing, that what happens, when, what kind of happiness are we talking about? See, in one of the classes, we discussed about the nature of material happiness. Remember Paris flu? Who remembers Paris flu? PARISFLU. The characteristic of material happiness. It is painful, it is relative, it is risky, whatever was there. Comes with suffering, it is temporary forgetfulness of suffering and all that. This thing we are not talking about. We are not talking about that sort of happiness. Bhakti is that happiness, which is the topmost happiness, and when you get that happiness, then you see what happens. बोला क्या? तो क्या? अच्छा तुम mirror displays. So do you know the story of Kak Bhushandi? This Kak Bhushandi was a crow in Ramayana, who was a devotee of the Lord. We will not get into details there, but I just want to highlight one point here. I really like this small song. As I said, this is not in parampara, but the message which I am trying to convey here is in parampara. Let's see this. So what happens? Kak Bhushandi is a crow, who was playing with this little boy Ram, baby Ram, and Kak Bhushandi got a dog, and then baby Ram had this roti in his hand, he was eating, and this Kak Bhushandi, he took that from his hand, and Ram started crying. The little boy Ram, like that. This crow today, he is supreme personality of Godhead. Sure, he is not supreme personality of Godhead, and he started going. And then Ram followed behind. He went to different universes. Lord Ram came as a small boy. He came following, and he went to where all he did not go. And then finally he realized this Kalbhushan, he is only Supreme Lord. उनकी माया के चक्कर में मैं फंस गया था. And then he surrenders to Supreme Lord, and you see what happens. Once again, sorry. I'm just trying to increase the volume. Huh? I think it will come. I don't want to waste that much time here. Yeah. One second.
संपत्ति देहूं के सदगति देहूं बचे हूँ मैं आज जो तोरे सुहायो के मुक्ति में देहूं के देहूं दान जो कोई न पायो के मुक्ति में देहूं के देहूं दान जो कोई न पायो। उनकी प्रेम भरी वाणी सुनकर मेरे अश्रु आ गए, परंतु मैंने मन में विचार किया कि प्रभु ने सब सुखों को देने की बात कही है, परंतु जो वास्तव में सुखों की खान है वो भक्ति देने की बात तो प्रभु ने कही नहीं।
So you see, here Krishna comes and says, "You ask whatever you want from me. Riddhi, Siddhi, Mukti, Navnidhi, this, that, everything he said. But then what does Kalbhushan asks? He asks for Shuddha Bhakti. Because Shuddha Bhakti is above all these things. You know, a pure devotee of the Lord, he does not even see liberation as something very, very great. Because Shuddha Bhakti has that much pleasure. And something similar happens here also. You know, Ras Khan is a Muslim devotee. Earlier in CBSE, they used to teach these things and Ras Khan poems. Very nice bhajans Ras Khan has written. You see now what Ras Khan is telling.
राजती हूँ पुर को तजीदारों आठों सिद्धि नवहूँ निधि को सुख नंद की गाय चराई बिसारो नाखने सोरस खाने का बाहू ब्रज के बन बाग तड़ाग निहारो छोटी कल धौत के धाम करीब की कुंजनों पर
What is Ras Khan saying? Ato Nidhi Navanidhi. He is telling that just to take darshan of that stick which Krishna is using to herd his cows, just to become a cowherd boy with Nanda Baba, you know, I leave all the golden palaces. Actually, Ras Khan was a very, very rich person. Was a very rich person. And he's saying his contemplation is that array, all the Ashtasiddhi, Navanidhi, all these golden palaces and Hire and Javarat and diamonds, all of that is nothing as compared to just one glimpse of Krishna. Now, Bhushanti and these two people, they were not chatting on WhatsApp. अरे मैं भी यही बोलूँगा, तुम भी यही बोलना, तो बाकी लोगों को बेवकूफ बनाएंगे, सबको बेवकूफ बनाएंगे. नहीं, that is a fact. Anybody who has experienced Krishna, anybody who has experienced Krishna, who has got that bliss, be it Dhruv Maharaj, be it Prahlad Maharaj, be it Kak Bhushanti, be it Ras Khan, be it Prabhupada, be it any of our Goswamis, be anybody, they are saying the same thing. What does it mean? सच है, this is true. अगर अभी हमको नहीं मिल रहा है तो no problem. Remember that slope, uphill slope which Krishna Guru talked about in one session. What is the other side of the mountain or the hill? हमको नहीं दिख रहा है. पर ये हम विश्वास रख सकते हैं कि it is there. All these great devotees are saying सबके बात में सेम बात है. यार सब कुछ एक तरफ और भगवान की एक झलक एक तरफ, भगवान की सेवा एक तरफ, भगवान की बांसुरी की एक मधुर ध्वनि एक तरफ, भगवान का नंद वो ही इनफैक्ट वन ऑफ द आगे बोलते हैं कि अगर मैं मनुष्य बनूं तो वृंदावन में बनूं, अगर मैं पक्षी बनूं तो यमुना के तट पे जो कदम है उसके पेड़ पे बनूं, अगर मैं पत्थर बनूं तो गिरिराज गोवर्धन का बनूं. लाइक दैट Ras Khan has very nice things there. So this was the fourth thing of Shubha, Sukham. Or हम what Sukham are we talking about? Not that Sukh you get by eating rasgulla. Let's say you are very hungry and now you are eating rasgulla or whatever is your favorite food. बहुत सुख मिलता है उसमें, और वो तो कुछ नहीं है, पार्थिव रस है, correct? इसका स्वर्गीय रस, then ब्रह्म रस, भक्ति रस, topmost. That's what we get. So Shubhadam. Then second, third is moksha laghutakrit. Moksha laghutakrit means कि one who is practicing Shuddha Bhakti, for him even liberation becomes a very small thing. मोक्ष लघुताकृत. शुद्ध भक्ति क्या करती है? मोक्ष को भी छोटा बना देती है, liberation को. So there are 5 types of liberation: Sayujya, Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya and Sarshti. 5 types of मुक्ति होती है. जैसे बोलते हैं ना, भैया हमें तो मोक्ष प्राप्त करना है, हमें तो मुक्ति प्राप्त करनी है. Many people say like that, right? Actually, liberation, what does it mean? It can mean many things. किसी को, किसी पति को अपनी पत्नी से लिबरेशन चाहिए, that's also liberation, मुक्ति. किसी को गवर्नमेंट से मुक्ति चाहिए, when we were, when we were under British rule, that time we wanted liberation, right, from British rule. Then किसी को वाइफ को हस्बैंड से चाहिए हो सकती है, बच्चे को पेरेंट्स से चाहिए हो सकती है. All these are also liberation. किसी को अपने परेशानियों से और सफरिंग से मुक्ति चाहिए हो सकती है, right? But then these are all small liberations. इसके ऊपर आता है when we get out of the cycle of birth and death. Ultimately, the root cause of all sufferings is, as we have discussed in Bhagavad Gita courses, that we are in this material world, which is like a river. So if you are in river, you will get wet. So what is the best thing? Get out of the river. सोचो आप नदी में खड़े हो, बोलते हो अरे मैं गीला हो रहा हूँ भाई. नदी में खड़े हो क्या होगा? आग थोड़ी लगेगी, चलो गीले ही होंगे. So what to be done? Get out of the river. So similarly, that's where the liberation, that concept of liberation जो famous है, मुक्ति मोक्ष, वहां से start होता है. उसमें भी there are many levels. Like we discussed once, remember that if you have to go to Delhi, now you can go to Delhi railway station or Delhi airport. That is also you have come to Delhi. उसको भी आप बोलोगे दिल्ली आ गए. अब आपने फोन को ऑन किया, वापस फ्लाइट से उतरा, फोन को ऑन किया, बोला हाँ भाई दिल्ली पहुंच गए ना दिल्ली. अच्छा, वहां पे दिल्ली के रोड में जब आप घूम रहे हो तब भी आप बोलोगे दिल्ली पहुंच गए. And now when you go to that person's residence which you went to meet, who you went to meet, उसके घर में जब आप बैठोगे, उसके साथ बातचीत करोगे, तब भी आप बोलोगे दिल्ली पहुंच गए. ये भी दिल्ली, ये भी दिल्ली, ये भी दिल्ली, और ये बेटर दिल्ली क्योंकि आप अपने फ्रेंड के घर में बैठे हो. Similarly, just to get out of the cycle of birth and death is also liberation. But that is like going from minus to zero. But then zero के ऊपर positive भी है, to play with Krishna, to live with Krishna, to be with Krishna. तो ये जो सायुज्य मुक्ति होती है ना, पहली सायुज्य मुक्ति, that is just getting out of cycle of birth and death, and that is like to merge with Krishna. To merge with Krishna. Brahma Jyoti में merge करना, basically. So that devotees they hate. In fact, that is worse than hell. Kevalyam narkayate. That is worse than hell. So it's like spiritual suicide. Our purpose is to love Krishna and serve Krishna and to enjoy with each other. That is our purpose. Now you are saying, no, I want to finish myself. Will Krishna like it? Will we like it? No. So that liberation is actually worse. It's like hell. Right? So सायुज्य को तो बात भी नहीं करते devotees. लेकिन बाकी 4 क्या है? सालोक्य. सालोक्य means you stay with Krishna in the same planet. That is सालोक्य. सारूप्य, your form is same as Krishna. Like विष्णु दूत जो होते हैं ना, वो भी चतुर्भुज रूप में होते हैं. केवल वो उनका श्रीवत्स और कौस्तुभ मणि नहीं होता है. Then सारूप्य हो गया. Then सार्ष्टी, same opulence. जितना भगवान के opulences हैं, उतना आपके पास आ जाता है. सार्ष्टी. And then सामीप्य, आप भगवान के पास रहते हो, उनकी लीलाओं के साथ आदान प्रदान करते हो. Now pure devotional service makes all of these also very less. And a pure devotee says, मेरे को ये भी नहीं चाहिए. मेरे को तो बस आपकी भक्ति चाहिए, बस आपको बस सर्व करना है. मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवदात भक्तिर अहेतुकीत्वे. So that is another characteristic of Shuddha Bhakti. Moksha laghutakrit. And then next is sudurlabha. Sudurlabha मतलब क्या? दुर्लभ मतलब what does durlabh mean? Rare. Sudurlabha, very rare, very rare. So this Shuddha Bhakti is very rare. Why it is rare, you know? 2 reasons. One, हम कितनी भी मेहनत कर लें, डेली 50-50 किलो का डंबल ऐसा will I get Shuddha Bhakti? I go to forest and live there for 10 days. Will I get Shuddha Bhakti? I can 64 rounds every day without fail. Will I get Shuddha Bhakti? No. I go to forest and I go on top of Mount Everest and stand upside down with my leg upper, one leg upper and one hand down for 1,000 years. Will I get Shuddha Bhakti? Why? Because you can never achieve. You can never do anything by your own efforts to get bhakti. Because it's like putting gun on somebody's head and saying, say, I love you. You know, it's like you're putting gun on Krishna's head and saying, say, I love you. Love is very, voluntary and individual. Can I forcefully love Krishna? Can I force Krishna to love me? I mean, Krishna loves us, but can I forcefully get pure love of Krishna? I cannot. Only by Krishna's mercy it is awarded to us. So bhakti can never be achieved, it can only be awarded. That's why it is Sudurlabha. One reason. Bhakti is a path of grace. तो path of grace है तो इधर क्या आने का घर में बैठो फिर. If bhakti is path of grace, why are we coming here? Why are we doing so much hard work? We talked about Krishnanushīlanam. We talked about Shīlanam. We talked about cultivation, active engagement. अरे अगर हमारे एफर्ट से कुछ होने ही नहीं वाला है, एनीवे जब भगवान की कृपा होगी तभी होगा जो होगा. तो कितना आप पहले फर्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ द लेक्चर में इतना टाइम क्यों वेस्ट किया फॉर टॉकिंग अबाउट पॉजिटिव एंगेजमेंट कल्टीवेशन? कैसे समझे? फॉर एग्जांपल, you understood my question? First part of the class we discussed about Shīlanam, that how it is positive engagement, cultivation and all that. अभी हम लोग डिस्कस करें कितना भी कर लो, ये सब कितना भी अपना एफर्ट कर लो, भक्ति नहीं मिलेगी, क्योंकि वो मिलेगी केवल कृपा से. तो हाउ टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस? जब एफर्ट होगा तभी तो मर्सी मिलेगी ना. अब सोचो आप गाड़ी चला रहे हो, एक भिखारी ऐसे खड़ा, आप उसको भीख दोगे? एक भिखारी वो जितना करेगा उतना भीख दोगे ना उसको. एफर्ट लगा ना. Ultimately you are giving mercy only. Ultimately you are giving mercy only. Or one bhikhari is standing like this, he will not get mercy. One bhikhari is doing some action, he will get mercy. So this way we can very easily understand. The endeavor is to get mercy. और वो मर्सी जब मिलेगी तब मिलेगा. तो ये एक कारण कि वो सुदुर्लभ है. सेकंड रीजन, Krishna will not give it to us easily. Why? If Krishna gives pure bhakti to somebody, then he will become sold out to that person. He will become that person's servant. अब इसके लिए तो सोच समझ के करेंगे ना. कृष्णा इतना आसानी से नहीं करेंगे. Because the supreme personality of Godhead will become your servant. Can you imagine? जैसे एग्जांपल्स, अर्जुन के पास सारथी, जब सुदामा गए तो उनका चरण धो रहे हैं. एक गरीब ब्राह्मण का चरण धो रहे हैं. So many examples are there of Krishna. बलि उसका द्वारपाल बने, like that. So because of these reasons, Krishna will not give us bhakti. So then, how to get pure devotional service now? हमने भी discussed, it is very very rare. So now how to get it? By our endeavor, but that will be incomplete without mercy. So only when we get mercy of pure devotee, we get pure devotional service. अनन्य भक्ति जब हम भगवान की करते हैं, जैसे I think we discussed once that if a child wants mother is busy cooking in the kitchen, child is crying. What does child want? Mother. और mother पहले कुछ छोड़ छाड़ के नहीं आ जाएगी, mother busy है, बहुत काम है. First what will the mother do? कोई टॉय दे देगी, मदर खेलेगा, पर फिर रोने लगेगी. टॉय को छोड़ देगा, रोने लगेगा. फिर दूसरा टॉय देगी, फिर रोने लगेगा. तीसरा टॉय देगी, फिर रोने लगेगा. अब जब और किसी से नहीं मानेगा तब बुलाना पड़ेगा. ठीक उसी प्रकार इसको बोलते हैं अनन्य भक्ति. When we surrender to Krishna one pointed, Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Not surrender to this also. क्या पता कृष्णा का कार्ड काम नहीं आए तो दूसरा कार्ड काम आएगा. Not like that. अनन्य भक्ति. When we do that, and by mercy of pure devotees, we get bhakti. And last two characteristics very quickly I'll cover. Sandrananda Visheshatma. Sandrananda Visheshatma means it gives us really condensed bliss. Very just like that toffee is there na, sugar candy, the orange wala ya wo whatever we, that's like made of very condensed concentrated sugar liquid. You keep concentrating it becomes like that, condensed sugar. That's what kind of taste or bliss or pleasure which bhakti gives us. And no other pleasure, as we saw here in case of Ras Khan, in case of Kakushani, in case of anybody, no other pleasure we would want in front of that. And finally, Shri Krishna Akarshini. Shri Krishna Akarshini means Shuddha Bhakti is the only thing that attracts Krishna. Can your money attract Krishna? Can your knowledge attract Krishna? Then think about it. Sure. What can attract Krishna? Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service. Because that is Radharani. Krishna is the supreme object of worship. Radharani is supreme abode of worship. She is the personification of bhakti. Radharani is personification of bhakti. She is the supreme abode of worship. And then Radharani is pleased on us. As Prabhuji had said in, I think, previous class, that the secret of advancement is to please Radharani. If we are in the shelter of Radharani, then we will make progress. We will get that taste in Krishna consciousness by pleasing Radharani. So therefore we chant Hare Krishna. We don't chant only Krishna, 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 Krishna. Our mantra is not Krishna, Krishna. When we chant Hare Krishna, when we are saying Hare, who is becoming attentive? Hare is Radharani. So when we are saying Hare, who is becoming alert? Krishna. Right? Radharani का नाम किसने बोला? And when we are saying Krishna, who is becoming alert? Radharani. So we are saying Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. अकेले कृष्णा के पास जाएंगे या अकेले राधा रानी के पास जाएंगे तो हो सकता है डंडा पड़े. You see, father is sometimes very strict, but when we go to mother, then mother can say, "अच्छा ठीक है, छोड़ दो इस बार, next time, give him one more chance." So that's like that. Radha Rani always wants to, put our case in front of Krishna. Therefore, any offering, any worship, ultimately Radha Rani does. So we do it through Guru, our Guru, Parampara, and then ultimately they give to Radharani, and then Radharani gives that personal service. So really all the Sakhis who are there, all the Manjaris who are there, they are all assisting Radharani in her service to Krishna. Because she is the ultimate epitome of bhakti. And when we commit offenses, when we commit aparadh, that mercy of Radharani. In fact, one of the meaning of aparadh is aparadh. Radharani की कृपा हमारे ऊपर से चली जाती है जब हम अपराध करते हैं. When we commit offenses, Radharani's kripa goes away from us. And then we all of a sudden we see we are not finding taste in bhakti. Once I asked one of my seniors who was, guiding me in bhakti, I asked, Prabhuji, why it happens that sometimes even after practicing for 10 years, 15 years, sometimes we get some basic doubts about body and soul. कह रहे हम सच में soul है क्या body है हमें? Then he said immediately without even thinking, he said it is because of offenses. Sometimes it's some basic thing also, which you have read and heard so many times, we have spoken about so many times. Sometimes you see all of a sudden, we are not finding that conviction in it that as we were finding earlier. That is because of aparadh, offenses. In fact, whatever realizations we get in bhakti, many times we get some experiences, some bliss. जैसे आज का मंगल आरती अटेंड करने पे अगर किसी को कोई एक्सपीरियंस होगा, यही है, this is spiritual world. Let's say, right? ये जो एक्सपीरियंस हो रहा है, ये जो अनुभूति हो रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है? कृपा से हो रहा है, कृपा के कारण हो रहा है. और जब हमारे ऊपर से कृपा हटती है, जब हम अपराध करते हैं, तो ये फिर एक्सपीरियंस नहीं होता. हम अचानक से इनसाइडर से आउटसाइडर बन जाते हैं, अचानक से. और ये आपके 40 साल के भक्ति प्रैक्टिस करने के बाद भी हो सकता है. इसके लिए कभी-कभी ऐसा देखने को मिला है कि 40 years one is practicing Krishna consciousness, still all of a sudden he goes away and becomes an outsider because of committing offenses, because of committing aparadh. So we have to be very, very careful against aparadhs. Anyway, we'll end with this now. We'll quickly recap what we did. First, we began with revising what was the pure definition of Shuddha Bhakti. What was the definition of pure devotional service? Shuddha Bhakti. Correct? And then in that, we also discussed several case studies. Like, why something is not Shuddha Bhakti and why something is Shuddha Bhakti. We discussed. Then we discussed about the 6, what will happen as a result of practicing Shuddha Bhakti? 6 characteristics, of which one was covered earlier. Kleshagni. It destroys the creation. What are the remaining 5 we discussed today? One was Shubhada, vesture of all auspiciousness. And we discussed 4 kinds of auspiciousness. One, welfare and affection and compassion to all living entities. Second, we become attractive for all living entities. Third, we get all good qualities. And fourth, happiness. What kind of happiness? That happiness of the rasa. So Shubhada. Then what we discussed after Shubhada? Moksha Laghuta Krita. जो वो वाला मोक्ष है, सायुज्य वाला, मर्ज होने वाला, that's so spiritual, we are not even talking about that. Even the other 4, Salokya, Samipya, Sarshti and Samipya or Sarupya, whatever these 4. Even those bhakta says that अरे ये भी मेरे को नहीं चाहिए, मेरे को तो बस आपकी शुद्ध भक्ति चाहिए, क्योंकि उसमें इतना आनंद है कि और कुछ चाहिए नहीं मेरे को. Then Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. Even this world then becomes Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. So Moksha Laghuta. Then Sudurlabha, very, very rare. Sudurlabha we discussed, and 2 reasons we discussed. Then Shri Krishna Chandrananda Visheshatma. It's like it gives us condensed pleasure. And then Shri Krishna Akarshini. This bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, is the only thing which can attract Krishna. So let us all pray today. Let us all look at Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Radha Madhava, and we all pray that by our this cultivation of Shuddha Bhakti, our goal should be Shuddha Bhakti, and we are trying to cultivate it. It's a process of cultivation, and it requires practice, as Prji was also telling in one of the previous classes. Right? Practice, practice. By doing that, and by always having the right attitude. Therefore, we should know the goal so that we can have the right attitude. The goal can be out of reach, but it should never be out of sight. That's the formula. पर गोल क्या है वो पता तो होना चाहिए ना. ठीक है, दिल्ली दूर है, पर दिल्ली है और वहां है ये पता होना चाहिए. हम यहाँ हैं, अब हमको वहां जाना है. And that's our life. We have to go towards that. Therefore, when we do reading hearing, it's for many purposes. One of the purposes is to be able to understand the life events in a proper way and to act in a proper way, to use the free will properly. That's one reason for reading hearing, to use free will properly. Another reason for reading hearing is also to understand higher levels of realization or the goal, so that we can go there. And how will we go from here to here? By rendering service, not by knowledge, by rendering service. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I think anybody has very quickly any questions or comments? Yes, Bhav. Yeah.
devotee who want to be devotee member for any reason.
Ah.
I want to understand. Just like if any person worship any demigod, like Hiranyakashipu doing Brahmaji some austerity worship, they will never purify his heart. But if a devotee, without if he is having some ulterior motive, if we do bhakti, Krishna will purify that.
Yes.
There is a chance to go to purify.
Yes.
Even if you,
Yes. Yes. What's your name, Prabhu?
Sarthak.
Sarthak. Sarthak Prabhu has asked a very nice question. Did you hear? Therefore, I will repeat. His question is that we talked about Shuddha Bhakti is Anya Vilashita Shunyam. We talked about an example of a devotee who is coming for Mangalarti every day so that he can maintain his position as a core team member. Correct? So he said, but Prabhuji, we have also heard that even if we do akama sarva kamova, whether you have no desire or you have all desire, still you should worship Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, still you should worship Krishna. So Prabhuji is saying that Prabhuji, we have also heard that whether you have desires or no desires, still you should worship Krishna so that you will be purified and one day you will become a pure devotee. Correct? So what is the question?
Like you should not leave it like that.
So okay. So his question is okay. So I want to understand. So I'll just quickly summarize in 2-3 points. Number one, if I have a lot of material desires right now, okay? If I have a lot of material desires right now, can I immediately finish all my material desires right now overnight? So what should I do with them? I can cheat, I can kill, I can go to Ganeshji, I can go to Krishna. What should I do? Okay. So point number one, I have material desires. Point number two, even if I have material desires, what should I do? I should go to Krishna. Why? Because Krishna will purify our material desires and give us pure devotional service. So this is our understanding. So now why did we discuss today that Shuddha Bhakti means no material desires? We are trying to understand the ultimate goal. What is the ultimate goal? So that we can also consciously strive towards that goal. We can also consciously strive towards that goal of not having any desire. So anytime our mind is saying, "Okay, chalo, let's go to temple today because everybody will, then praise me that he is coming every time." So we should then, by our intelligence, which is being nourished by the shastras, it should be able to tell no to mind. Mind, कैसा बेकार सोचता है यार, ऐसा मत सोचो. Don't think like this. So that we can train ourselves gradually. We can correct ourselves gradually. That's why we are reading hearing, so that we understand the goal and so that we can correct our behavior using our intelligence, like that. So is that clear? Yes. Yeah. So Vaishnavya Kriya Mudra Vigyatena Bujhaya. Right. So what I was telling was that many times externals may not tell what is right, what is wrong. And with externals, we should never judge anything. So two things are there. One is, let's say a Vaishnava is doing something, right? Now that could be bhakti, that may not be bhakti. We don't understand, right? Just like Mother, as Prabhuji was saying last time, Mother Yashoda, instead of feeding Krishna, she is keeping Krishna aside to milk was boiling. She wanted to rush to the kitchen to stop milk from boiling over, right? Now apparently she was feeding Krishna and she kept Krishna aside to take care of the milk. Is that bhakti? Action was wrong, intent was good. What was the action? Not favor. Action was Krishna became angry. Actually, action was making angry. Krishna angry. But she did that. What was the intent? What was the milk? She was boiling the milk for what? For Krishna. Same. On the other hand, Putana is giving milk to Krishna. Action is wonderful. Intent, I will kill Krishna. So that was one aspect of it. Second aspect was relationships. And that's where your question is. In relationships, let's say I'm saying something and somebody else is saying something. It's not about right or wrong many a times. Because there can be different flavors of trying to serve Krishna, trying to please Krishna. And everybody is a universe. There's many times in life or in relationships, it's not black and white. Let's say if something should be done or not done. अरे करने के लिए भी बहुत सारे अच्छे कारण हो सकते हैं और I mean there can be pros and cons of this also. There can be pros and cons of this also. So now what is right or wrong? Ultimately it's a trade-off, correct? So then now should two devotees fight about oh no ये right है? No. Then we have to apply right beyond right. Whatever pleases senior devotees, whatever pleases authorities, whatever makes sure that our ultimate purpose, the higher purpose is achieved. So that's what the point of right beyond right I was talking about. I think we should end now because it's 10:30. We have to have that meeting also. And anyway, Harvinder Prabhu is here. Yes. During Prasadam also we can ask Mataji. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
हरे कृष्णा हम सब श्रीमान व्यासाचार्य की बात करेंगे जिससे आज हम जो शुद्ध भक्ति के परिभाषा और उसके जो रिजल्ट मिलते हैं वो हमें समझाएं हम 3 बार प्रभु का अभिवादन करेंगे हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि